Hey, it's Chris Doherty, Doherty Properties, and every week I come to you with a question, and this week I want to ask you a question. And that is, are you going to be upset if you miss what is perhaps the greatest seller's market of our time? I want you to think about that for a section. Right now we have one of the greatest real estate markets for sellers of our time. Inventory is low, prices are way up, really fueled because interest rates are in the low 3s and high 2s, have been hovering back and forth. And if you're a seller of real estate, you can capitalize on selling your home for a great price. I mean, exceptionally phenomenal. I mean, it's what we're seeing in terms of pricing right now is unlike anything I've seen before in these markets. And so you have to ask yourself, are you going to be upset if the tide does turn? Now, I'm not suggesting that it will, because nobody knows. That's the trick about markets. Nobody can predict the future, or everybody would be making decisions today based on that data. But what we do know about real estate is that real estate fluctuates. It has peaks and valleys, residential real estate. And if we look historically over time, that strong market does pull back. Over time, it goes up and down and it climbs and prices end up at a higher price point. But my question for you is, are you going to be upset if you miss the market? Think about that. And so one tip of advice that I have for you is if you think that you're going to want to move in the next 1, 2, or 3 years, where the home you're in may not be the long-term home you really want to be in, you really should be thinking about selling that property and locking in your gains. Okay? Now, I often use an example of casino gambling because I had a friend who had passed recently who used to say to me that the residential real estate market is sometimes like casino gambling in that it does go up and down over time, and that there's a time for great rewards and winnings like now, but there's also a time when there are challenges in the market, which is just the way that residential real estate works in the United States. And so I want you to imagine that right now you could lock in a gain. And if you are happy with the gain that you would get today, then it might be the right time for you to sell. Now, it could be that you wait another year, 2 or 3, and the market could continue to go up. But the real question is, are you going to feel like you missed the boat if the market goes down? If this market does turn, and there is no sign of that right now, things look like they'll go forever. But remember, nobody ever expects a turn in the market. That's why people get hurt. If they knew, they would have sold before the market started to turn. And so the question I really want you to think about is, are you going to be upset if you miss this real estate market? And so the update on the market is simple. Right now, we have more real estate agents in the United States than we do listings. Interest rates are still at near historical lows. Inventory is still incredibly tight, and rents are still incredibly high. There doesn't appear to be any major change that's going to happen. But if you are in a position and you are thinking in your mind, like, I want to capitalize on this, I want you to take a serious thought is, are you going to be disappointed if it does turn and you do miss out on that? Now, if you're a risk taker and you say, hey, yeah, I want to move, but I'm willing to wait, and you may win. You could continue to see more gains. But remember, what goes up must come down, and at some point all things do. And you need to ask yourself, will you be upset if you miss this opportunity of a lifetime? And so that is the question that I have for you today. If you need any advice relative to the value of your home, you can click below on the site and it will give you your home value option. I want to help you navigate that. If you want to stay in your home, I think that's great too. I never want to push people, but I want you to think about this seriously because this is a time where people are making huge returns. The question is, could that be you too? I look forward to seeing you guys in the days ahead. Stay safe, and hope we have another great real estate year ahead of us. Thanks, guys.